Welcome to the chart updates. This is my second one. I'm not going to repeat PayPal and SoFi in this one because I only did them a couple of days ago. The video for that is posted on my YouTube, so you can go ahead and check that out. I'll try and include a link if I remember. Pretty new to this, so we'll see. So I thought we would just start off straight away looking at Palantir. This chart still looks pretty strong for me. Obviously, the main concern a lot of people have with Palantir comes from a fundamental point of view. Whilst the technicals are all aligning and could create some short-term pops, the fundamentals really do need to catch up. So I would expect us to range in this area until earnings. Pretty much these two volume level points here, maybe some bouncing above it. But that looks like where the market wants to keep it anyway, above the bull market band as well. You can see we were overbought on the last pop, but flows are sort of heading off. I don't expect too much excitement from this. Obviously, the macro PCE stuff could move the market today, but I don't know if it will hold. What else do we have? RSI, pretty much a lot of room still there on the daily. MACDX, still a lot of institutions in this one. Not bad for a growth stock. I spoke about the flow already. I did mention last week I was in a trade here. I did exit the trade on this candle here, mostly because I was annoyed I didn't take it out here when I should have really spotted this level here. If we get another pullback, I'll manage it, but I suspect if PCA comes in lower today, we're going to pop higher. But I wanted that money for another trade. I can't remember what it was, but I think it had more chance of better returns. Yes, weekly. The chart still looks pretty bullish even on the weekly. This area here, but 27.34 on the golden fib. I think that's where the options market is pricing for this as well. We could get there even without earnings. Obviously, the technicals could allow it as a pop, but I don't know if we would hold that level given the price is getting a bit rich now. We did tick oversold down here and we had a nice rally. The signals here are pretty good, to be fair. The bottom catch, obviously we had a really big move on the weekly for that one. Flows are starting to go bullish again, which is also nice to see. Overall, it's more likely there's upside coming for this one than downside, I would say. Quick look at the options market. Okay. Pretty much the same as what we're seeing on TradingView, range bound for the most part with a high of 30. Probably a little bit higher than where I would put it, but the market does like round numbers. We can take that out for January 25. Lots of shots in the dark going on here. No real confluence. Obviously 30 stands out still. I think that's very likely, if not higher than that for this company, if they can keep up with monetizing. Hopefully the fundamentals take a big leap forward in the coming quarters, which is why I hold the stock. And the following year out, a little bit more indecision, so not overly concerned on this one. These longer time frames are typically more fundamental related. Let's take a look at Tesla. Everyone's loving Tesla this week. Apologies, I'm a little bit bunged up with hay fever. I love the summer. Let's head over to the daily chart here. I am in a day trade, a swing trade, as you can see here, where my targets are. My take profit would be this black diagonal line. I entered this when it broke above the bull market band. RSI is getting a little bit high on the daily, but Tesla historically doesn't really give a crap about being overbought, oversold. It'll do what it wants. So it ignores that. Nice to see institutions coming, and this golden cross gave me a lot of confidence that the bottom was in, which triggered me to start wanting to buy more. I am pretty much at the size I want, but I'm really trying to fight the urge to buy more because I really want to buy more, but I don't want to saturate my portfolio in it. Perhaps I'll have to free up some cash in my focused portfolio. Inflows did start to tick up as well. I'd like to see this continue to stay in the bullish area. I think the Cybercab event for this one is going to be a key driver. I think a lot of people will just stop seeing it as a car company and start seeing it more as a tech company. That should affect the multiples going forward, but we'll see. Quick look at the weekly. Oh, I forgot to say on the daily as well. Look at this gorgeous head and shoulders. Pretty much perfect. The measured move for this does get us close to 250, which is up past this volume shelf. There's a couple of sticky areas up here, which would be tougher to break. But all in all, I don't see it having a problem getting there. It's just a question of time. Obviously, I think much further out in the future, this company will be the biggest company in the world by quite a large margin. I've attempted to model this with the bots and the cabs, but it got so ridiculous. The numbers were like joke numbers. I just want more. What we're looking at, Tesla options interest. I'm pretty sure the market's not going to be pricing this how I would. But, next week, a lot of people looking at this technical level of 205 here, the historic high. So I'd expect price to get sucked up to that, which is good for my swing trade. Obviously, if PCE comes in lower than expected, that's going to probably push this stock higher, or any stock that's related to interest rates. January, oh, where's 25? Lost my bearings. There we go. 25. Yeah, these prices, just this seems crazy to me that the market still has a lot of interest in these prices for the long and the short. I wonder if there's any higher. 250 for end of year, pretty reasonable. I would say pretty safe bet we're hitting that. 300 as well. So, I mean, look at all this negative sentiment down here, though. I think they're going to get stung. 26. Pretty much seeing the same thing, although seems to be a bit more positive sentiment when we go out 2 years. So for the most part, Wall Street thinks it's going to take a while to ramp all these projects up, which is true. The timelines for Tesla were always at least double what people think they are. Like ARK Invest, their prediction was just crazy. It was so off the mark in so many ways, but people liked it, so whatever. What else? Robinhood. Let's take a look. Where are we? Hood still pretty good. I mentioned last week that the dip was expected after the run-up, and we've had a nice bounce from the previously local top, which was this one here. So we had the double top here, and then it's pulled back and it's tapped it again. There is a bearish divergence forming on the RSI. I think if we have good PCE and the market goes risk on and Bitcoin goes up, that will push HUD up, so that would invalidate that bearishness anyway. Obviously, that all depends on the macro. If it is good, this would naturally come down with the more risk on assets, I think. HUD's an interesting one for me, as I initially bought it as a proxy to Bitcoin, but the company's just nailed everything and they're doing so well. There is some concerns with the credit card. Are they being too lenient with their just giving it out to everyone? So we'll see how that affects the company over the next few quarters, with write-offs and such. It is showing a little bit overbought still, but I mean, it doesn't seem to give a fig about that. As long as it has a little bit of a cool off, it tends to be happy to run again. On the weekly chart, it still looks really bullish. My plan on this one, I think, I don't want to trade too much in and out of it because I'm at a point now in the crypto cycle where I'm just holding on to what I've got, not worrying about ins and outs. I'm taking the odd swing trade. So my first take profit area on this one did get raised to $32, $32.84 to be exact. And we'll see how the company does around when Bitcoin starts fading. And obviously all the new things the company's doing with the gold memberships and such. You can visit my website and see my full Robinhood thesis and find out a lot more about what I think about the company long term on there. Whilst we're on Hood, let's take a quick look at... Oh, sorry, forgot to do the options. I think this is another company that the market is a bit weird with, but let's have a look. So, it does look like the market thinks this is going to be going higher, which is good for us. The 30 lines up ideally close to where our profit taking is. January 25. A lot more unsureness here. Have to keep an eye on that. I think that this is probably related to the credit business worry. A lot of people not sure. January 26th on this one's probably going to be the same. Yeah, okay, not too much there. Let's take a quick look at CleanSpark. This is another Bitcoin proxy I have. I did take a swing trade here. I put it up on my website in my swing trade page as well, so you could see my entries and stuff. I did enter again on this pullback where it got stuck in the bull market band. My take profit is probably going to be the same area. I think again, same situation with Hood. If PCE is low, crypto is probably going to start moving, or at least the miners. They're considered quite a risk-on asset. Just look at that volatility. There's huge moves here. Ridiculous. And same with Hood. I'm not really worried about trading in and out of this. My next take profit is about 30 as well on this one for a reasonable trim, but the take profits on this really depend on what Bitcoin's doing. We were oversold on that last little, overbought on that last little pop, but institutions and retail seem to be just holding what they've got, so probably going to be range bound in this 20 to 15 range, which is actually quite a nice trading range if you just bought the bottom, which is what I'm doing pretty much. Weekly. Pretty much a flag, measured move, probably all lines up, not too much exciting there. Retail have been pretty much washed out of this one. Flows are flat, so it's waiting, and I think the next move is going to be a whopper when it comes. So I'll try not to get too excited about that. I don't really look at options for miners because they're pretty irrelevant. They're not going to be. You can't really take a long time frame option on this because the peak will have happened and it should be worth less. I mean, you could probably get a put if you wanted, but I would avoid it. Never blooming know with miners, they're so crazy. Bitcoin's probably the only other thing to look at. Go daily first. Price is really working this tight confluence area. I mean, I say tight, but a lot of people have been scared to death saying it's the world's ending, but a 20% drop for crypto is really nothing. That's probably a fairly tight range. um, um, it's a pretty nice flag forming, to be fair. I prefer not for it not to break lower under this golden fib level. We did have a really nice wick up here, and now we're even tighter range bound for this week. We're just waiting. I don't really see it dropping past here. If it did, I would just buy as much as I could get hold of on the weekly. Oh, I think I was going to point out the measured move here. It'd be a quick pop here. Probably get about 16%, which doesn't sound like a whole lot for Bitcoin, but that could happen fast. Obviously, the market needs to go risk on, and the ETFs need to stop dumping, but we'll see. A lot of the worry last week came from Germany selling and the Mount Gox giving people their money back, basically. I probably should have done an article on that on my website, but I don't think I did. Maybe I'll add that to my list of to do. But I hope you guys found that useful. Oh, forgot to mention there was a def cross coming here, so we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that, see what happens. It's looking pretty good on the weekly, even though it is overbought, but obviously given the drop, that's cooled off a lot. Hopefully that was good.